Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a place that absolutely defies easy categorization. We're talking about Qingdao. Now, you might just know it as a typical coastal city in China, but as we're about to see, it is actually a fascinating study in contrasts. It's this wild place where massive industrial scale meets quiet, romantic street corners.
Okay, let's dive into this because when I first heard these statistics, it completely blew my mind. I mean, what city on earth seamlessly blends old German castles, sizzling fresh seafood, and the manufacturing power to produce over half of an entire nation's high-speed trains? It sounds like three totally different cities stitched together, right? But it's just one.
Over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack this crazy duality. We'll start with the tale of two cities. Check out the red tiles and European roots. Dig into the seafood, skewers, and beer. Explore its role as an economic and tech giant, and finally, look at the modern coastal metropolis.
Section 1. A Tale of Two Cities.
Situated right on the Shandong Peninsula, facing the vast Yellow Sea, the city's identity was forged by some seriously rapid, massive historical shifts. Going back in time, in 1891, the Qing dynasty officially set up military defenses here. Just a few years later, in 1897, German occupation began, bringing a huge wave of European architecture and modern municipal infrastructure. By 1914, following the outbreak of World War I, Japanese administration took over. It actually wasn't until 1929 that it was officially named Qingdao City by the Chinese government. Finally, jumping ahead to 1984, Qingdao was designated as an open coastal city, and that sparked the massive economic boom we see today. What's wild is that these layered eras didn't erase each other. They literally stacked up to create a visually stunning landscape.
Section 2. Red tiles, European roots.
And this brilliantly illustrates the duality we were just talking about. On one hand, you've got the Badaguan district. This area is famous for its quiet, super romantic European villas representing architectural styles from 24 different countries. It's so diverse, it's known as the Museum of Architecture of All Nations. Every single road is even planted with a different type of tree, peach blossoms in the spring, maples in the fall. But then you pivot to May 4th Square and boom, you are hit with massive, neon-lit corporate high-rises that just scream modern metropolis.
To really grasp this European heritage, you've got to check out a few specific landmarks. Take St. Michael's Cathedral. Completed in the 1930s, it has these huge 56-meter-high twin towers dominating a really vibrant, festive plaza where the historic district connects right into daily life. Then there's Signal Hill Park. If you climb its observation tower, you get that signature sweeping view of Qingdao, countless red roofs sloping right down to meet the deep blue water. And of course, we have to mention Tsingtao Beer. Originally a late Qing military structure, this 440-meter dock is now an iconic sea corridor. In the winter, thousands of seagulls migrate here all the way from Siberia, completely filling the sky above the seawall.
Section 3. Seafood, skewers, and beer.
But to truly feel the pulse of Qingdao, we need to pivot to the visceral local street level. Let's talk about Pichai Courtyard. The name literally means chopped firewood, which is a cool echo of older market life. Today, it's a compact, historic food alley packed with tight, twisting paths, glowing red lanterns, and the loud sizzle of fresh seafood skewers. It is dense, it's social, and it is loud. The colors and smells hit you from every single side. It's a place where the history of the city sits comfortably right alongside a hungry evening crowd.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how locals consume their absolute most famous export, Tsingtao Beer. If you go to a local market, you don't just buy a bottle. First, you order your draft beer by the jin, which is a traditional unit of weight. Then, you watch it get poured incredibly fresh, straight out of the stainless steel keg. And step 3, this is the absolute best part. They hand it to you in a clear plastic bag. You literally carry your fresh draft beer down the street in a bag with a straw. It is a wonderfully quirky local tradition that you simply have to experience. And while you're drinking that beer, you're going to want some local delicacies. A standout is haichang, or sea intestine. Okay, don't let the name fool you. It looks a bit like a yellow, naked sea cucumber, but when it's cooked, often mixed with rice, it has this incredible, chewy, bouncy texture that delivers a massive punch of umami flavor. Another favorite is cozy meat, which gets its name from being cooked in these unique, long-handled square iron boxes. It's street food grounded in vivid, practical detail.
Moving right along to Section 4, Economic and Tech Giant.
All right, so we've walked the quiet European streets and eaten skewers in the night market. Let's sharply shift the narrative here to staggering, awe-inspiring industrial scale.
1.67 trillion. That is Qingdao's gross domestic product for 2024 in RMB. To put that into perspective, this makes it one of the top 3 economic powerhouses in all of northern China. This is not just a vacation town, it is a manufacturing titan.
Just consider the global mega brands headquartered here. You have higher and smart appliances dominating with 6 global lighthouse factories. That's literally 12% of the nation's total. You have Hinson and electronics pulling in revenues well north of 200 billion RMB. Of course, the Tsingtao Brewery, ranking in the top 10 globally for sales and exporting worldwide since its roots back in 1903, and ACMA, a massive legacy player in cold chain and refrigeration technology. This city is out here dictating global appliance and tech standards.
So the crucial point is this jaw-dropping statistic. 53.4% of the nation's high-speed trains are produced right in Qingdao, over half. The production capacity here exceeds 1,600 train cars a year. Let that sink in. One single city is essentially manufacturing the arteries of the entire country's transit system.
And the hard data points just keep coming, especially when you look out at the sea. The port of Qingdao ranks 4th globally in cargo throughput. When it comes to marine science, 1 out of every 3 marine tech breakthroughs in China comes from the city. It is the home port for China's deep-sea submersibles, like the famous Jiaolong. On a broader scale, Qingdao has leaped up the charts to rank 20th globally for tech innovation clusters. It is an absolute powerhouse of maritime logistics and deep-sea research.
Let's move to Section 5 and see how this all builds to the modern coastal metropolis.
So, how do all these dual identities, the deep history, the food, the crazy industry, synthesize into the city you see today? Well, they come together perfectly on the modern waterfront. May 4th Square captures this blend flawlessly. Named to commemorate the 1919 May 4th movement, it features the May Wind sculpture. This is a massive 30-meter-high, 700-ton spiraling red steel monument that looks like a burning flame. But right behind this deep historical symbol, you have a breathtaking, ultra-modern skyline of neon skyscrapers. It's this clean, expansive public space where families and cyclists gather right against the backdrop of global corporate power.
And as a reminder of its elite status, consider Qingdao's standing among the top cities in northern China by GDP. Right behind the massive municipalities of Beijing and Tianjin, you find Qingdao. It's a perfect storm of economic might and coastal beauty, which is exactly why it also drew over 140 million tourists in 2024 alone. It is a city that works incredibly hard, but also absolutely knows how to relax.
There's a famous, century-old description of Qingdao that locals actually still use today. Red tiles, green trees, blue sea, and blue sky. Even amidst the soaring skyscrapers, the high-speed rail factories, and the bustling night markets, this core aesthetic remains completely untouched.
Which leaves us with this final thought. How many other cities can hold on to their romantic, historic past while simultaneously manufacturing the future? Qingdao proves that a city doesn't have to choose between preserving its heritage and driving global innovation. It can brilliantly do both. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this leaves you eager to go explore more about this incredible city.